let's jump into the Tennessee Vols. Any initial thoughts before I rip off a bunch of numbers, betting numbers, recruiting stats, etc.?
Well, I think the first caveat I have to offer here is I think the whole Nico Amaliava drama right before the spring game in Knoxville is really going to be first and foremost in Big Orange Nation's mind, and he's going to be the target for blame if this is not a playoff contending football team.
Instead of Heupel.
Yes, completely
Right.
instead of Heupel, because I'm having a hard time thinking of a controversial decision that was as unanimously popular as Heupel saying, no, you're not getting any more money, and then coming out and saying the first time he met with the media, nobody's bigger than the Power T.
Including me. He said, and then he said, including me.
He handled that whole debacle perfectly. And
he hasn't done a whole lot wrong since he got the freaking job.
He really hasn't. And I think you can make a hard argument. All right, the gap between Kirby and the rest of the league is not what it was at the peak of Saban's powers, but Heupel is right there. And if you wanted to say he's no worse than 2 or 3, and in that conversation with Sark and the rest of the guys who are a step behind Kirby in the coaching hierarchy, I can understand that rationale.
Yeah, I mean they went from 3-7 Pruitt's last year to 7-6, and that was while the coaching search was going on, before Heupel was even interviewed. Like their 8-9 best players all left, were gone before he had even interviewed for the job, and then he went 7-6, and they should have won that bowl game against Purdue. I thought they got robbed by the refs, so he should have been 8-5 that year. Then he goes 11-2, then he goes 9-4, and then he goes to the playoff in year 4 and finishes 10-3 last year. And he's beaten Alabama twice now. So
yeah, because he inherited a flaming diaper of Indian food.
Yes,
I mean, if I can borrow from my man Ron Burgundy, I mean that was a trash program, and he has redirected it quickly and efficiently. I'll tell you one sneaky side note before you start rattling off all the details. Let Brent Venables struggle out of the gate, and I wonder if Mama comes calling.
Oh, did you see where I sent you that link?
I did.
We'll go through that later in the show, or do it next week. It's their odds out for the first coach to be fired,
and it sucks to be named Brent. The first 3 are all named Brent.
Venables, Brent Pry at Vatek. Who's the third? Brent. I'm not looking at it. Anywho,
Brennan in Arizona.
Oh yeah, they did have a bad year last year. Okie dokie. All right, why is my thing doing that? What are you doing here? Okay. So the Vols go 10-3 straight up last year, 7-6 against the spread. They lost 39 Letterman. They return 44 if Boo Carter doesn't get back to Knoxville and mend some fences real quickly in the next 72 hours. And they averaged 35.7 points per game, and they gave up 16.1 points per game. So that was the best defense Heupel's had. And his defenses have gotten better every year. So year 1, 29.1 points per game. Year 2, 22.8. Year 3, 20.3. And last year, 16.1. His year 2, they averaged 46.1 points per game, and then 35.7 last year. They had a net yardage of plus 1,999 yards. They were plus 6 in turnover margin. Per the 247 Sports Composite, they had the number 11 overall recruiting class in the country. In terms of transfer specific, they were 81. They only brought in 7 transfers, 1 4-star, 6 Power 4 guys. They went 2-1 in one possession games last year. Some betting numbers. So on June 18th, they were 8.5, over -115, under -105. But now the juice has changed or actually, yeah, the under is now the favorite, -128, and the over is +104. The yes/no question on make the playoff this year, yes is +270, no is -370. They are 65-1 to win the CFP, and they were 27-1 to win the SEC a couple of weeks ago. They are now 30-1 to win the SEC championship game. So the SEC media boys last week. Oh, why is it doing that? Anyhow, they had 0 Tennessee Vols on first team, second team, or third team offense. First team SEC defense, Jermod McCoy, the corner, who was a third team All-American last year. He started 13 games, 44 tackles, 9 passes broken up, and 4 INTs. They had Boo Carter was third team All SEC at corner, and Arion Carter at linebacker, and he was their leading tackler last year. 68 tackles, 6.5 TFLs, 6 passes broken up, 3 QB hurries, and 1 interception. All right, as far as the 4-star transfer is an offensive guard, Sam Pendleton, who started 7 games for Notre Dame last year. A couple of the other transfers that are going to, be insignificant or start are Wendell Moe, offensive guard, 24 starts in 29 games his last 3 years at Arizona. At least in Phil Steele's mag, he's projected as the starting left guard. And then Colton Hood is not listed as a starter. Well, if Boo Carter's gone, he probably will be a starter. He had 24 tackles, 8 passes broken up, and 2 interceptions and 1 TFL at Colorado last year. And then of the incoming freshmen, the prize is David Sanders, offensive tackle, 5-star out of Charlotte, North Carolina, ranked as the number 11 player in the country. Phil Steele's national unit rankings, not ranked at quarterback, which I think they went up to like 75, 44 at running back, 34 at wide receiver, 45 O-line, number 20 D-line, number 24 linebacker, number 16 in the secondary, number 14 special teams. So if Josh Heupel can average 30 points a game, he will be showing his brilliance perhaps more so than he has in his first 4 years.
30 points a game with either Merklinger or Joey Aguilar. And see, I think that's a very sneaky, interesting thing to pay attention to in August. I'm not 100% certain this is Aguilar's job.
Okay. That's interesting.
So now he was brought in and he's got more experience, but in what is proven to be a very tenuous locker room situation, follow the guy who has the support of his dudes. And from everything I've heard, Merklinger has been him. And there's recruiting help coming. They got the number 1 quarterback in the country from North Carolina signed in the 2026 cycle.
Right.
So feel free to roll the dice, because as I opened when we started talking about Tennessee, Heupel's playing with house money. The distractions, the NIL, the Imaliavas, all of it. But to your point, dude, losing Dylan Sampson, losing the perimeter players, replenishing some offensive line and questions at quarterback, if this team gets to 30 points a game, that's a Spurrier-esque level offensive coaching job.
Yeah. And I mean, he also is obviously confident in the young talent on the roster, because like Ohio State, they didn't really hit the portal. I mean, they only got 7 guys. which I mean was intentional. I mean, and Napier did the same thing. So maybe, maybe a lot of these, younger guys that haven't played much, maybe he feels good about them. We'll see.
Well, one of the key stats, and it was made a lot easier with a couple of the dudes they've had the last handful of years, including last year's SEC Offensive Player of the Year and Dylan Sampson. Under Heupel, Tennessee is 23-0 when they rush for 185 or more yards.
Man, that's pretty impressive that they've rushed for 185 yards or more 23 times in 4 seasons. I bet they are 23-0. All right. So I worry about the wide receiver position a good bit because if Phil Steele's, and I know he talks to these coaches for about an hour, so I'm pretty sure he goes off of what Heupel was telling him on the phone in terms of how he projects the starters. I mean, you got a redshirt freshman who had 3 catches last year as a true. He had to have played 4 games or less, and Braylon Staley. You got Mike Matthews as a true freshman. He had 90 receiving yards, 7 catches, 2 touchdowns. And you got Chris Brazell, who had a good year after transferring from Tulane, or had a pretty good year. 29 catches, 333 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He started 9 games. But I mean,
well, I don't know where Phil had him, but a lot of the post-spring depth charts had Boo Carter in the rotation.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I'll tell you a name to watch is also a kid who prepped at Baylor School here in Chattanooga. Amari Jefferson transferred to Knoxville. Yeah. And look, if Saban wants you, you can play.
Right.
So I would expect Amari Jefferson to be a name we know before Halloween as they start finding who they are on the perimeter in Knoxville.
He did have Boo Carter listed 3rd string at wide receiver.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready for the schedule?
Well, I think one of the things we need to kind of kick around before we go neck deep in the schedule is this is going to be a team that has to rely on its defense.
Yes.
You mentioned the McCoy kid, and he's projected to be a first-day pick in almost everything I've seen next spring in the NFL draft. They also have a bona fide dude in Arian Carter at middle linebacker. He can go get it. But what I don't know, Joshua Joseph is a good player.
Yep.
I don't know if they've got the same dynamic up front that led them to drive killing plays, especially in a 4-2-5 defense. Do you know Tennessee has had more than 100 or more tackles for loss each of the last 2 years? Think about that over the course of a season, where if you're getting 7, 8, 9 tackles for loss per game, that almost always wrecks the possession.
Yeah.
That's a chain-changing play. And I just don't know if they've got the same dudes to make those type of drive-killing stops. Because if it happens on 1st down, then you go 2nd and 12 instead of 2nd and 5. If it happens on 3rd down, you're getting off the field. And so in a game that has 8, 9, 10, 12 possessions, if you're getting 8 tackles for loss per game, you are theoretically snuffing out 2/3 of the other team's drives with one big play.
I'm glad you mentioned Joseph's. He had a hell of a year last year.
Yes,
he had
he did.
9 TFLs, 1.5 sacks, 8 QB hurries, 39 tackles, 3 forced fumbles. Another good player we haven't mentioned yet is defensive tackle Bryson Easton. D tackles don't typically put up huge numbers, but he did have 7 TFLs and 5 QB hurries, 1.5 sacks. So the SEC media boys did not have any Tennessee offensive players on all SEC. Phil Steele did have one on 4th team all SEC. He had Lance Hurd, the offensive tackle who started 11 games last year after transferring. from LSU. And he had Boo Carter as the fourth-team punt returner. But we don't know about Boo. All right. Syracuse is going to be not nearly as good as they were last year. So that's a dub for the Vols. And they'll go 2-0 in week 2 against East Tennessee State. When you think the name East Tennessee State, is there a point guard who comes to mind?
Are you talking about Mr. Jennings?
Yes, sir, I am. Good job by you. Good job by you. Led the Buccaneers to an upset win over Arizona, maybe? A first-round upset win over somebody. I think it was Arizona.
As a 15?
I want to say it was a 3-14 game, but I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong. All right, so the Georgia game, DraftKings opened Georgia as a 5.5-point favorite. They are now 7.5-point favorite. So there's been 2 points of line movement there. As Tennessee hosts Georgia in week 3. We've already done Georgia. We had Georgia winning this game, correct?
Correct.
All right, 2-1 for the Vols. I'm going to assume you like them against UAB to go to 3-1.
I do.
And we both liked them to win at Mississippi State, correct? 4-1.
Correct.
And let's see, Arkansas at home, W. Yep. And at Alabama, where at last look they were a 12.5-point dog. I don't know about that. Well, I haven't seen Ty Simpson's play yet, but I do have Alabama winning.
Well, yeah, I have Alabama winning too, but
that number's a little high, I think.
It feels high for two bitter rivals, but that number would be closer to 5 if Nico was in the game, right? Because you'd feel like Tennessee had a monstrous edge sitting here on July 25th at the most important position.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Nico to Aguilar, like from a power rating standpoint, is like -7. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, about a touchdown drop. So that makes them what, 5-2?
5-2.
I got them winning at Kentucky.
I do too.
6-2. Oklahoma. So I marked this as a swing game initially.
Well, I think it's fair to mark it as a swing game, but because there are so huge question marks on each side, we don't even know who could be the coach of Oklahoma come November 1st.
Right.
And we have zero idea of the level of competency from anybody in the QB room in Knoxville. So swing game is completely fair. But I mean, I'm gonna give Tennessee that swing game. But if you went the other direction, I could understand it. I just think there are a lot of things in play here. And that's a tough stretch.
Yeah, I think we both gave it to Tennessee when we did Oklahoma, right?
I think we did.
Yeah, I think we did too. So that would make the Vols 7-2 and then 8-2 after 2 weeks to prepare for New Mexico State. Then at Florida, which I have as an L.
I think I had as an L too.
Yep. So that would be 8-3 going into Vandy at home.
And Diego Pavi's going to have to wear a bulletproof tuxedo to win that one.
So that will be for the win total, which is 8.5. Yeah, I wouldn't want to have over 8.5 with Diego coming to Knoxville to make his Neyland debut. Or
unless Tennessee hires Hugh Freeze between now and November 28th, I think you got to feel you're better at every position but quarterback and tight end.
Yes. Well, yeah, and that's the case with a lot of Vandy matchups.
Right.
Yep. Oh wow. Okay. So did I go 9-3 for the Vols?
You went 9-3 for the Vols. Now I will say this.
I'm not betting it though.
I'm not betting it either because it's the question. Tennessee may have. I'm not going to say they have the most pressure in the quarterback room because again, what I started with is a lot of this is going to fall at the feet of the Maliavas, and nobody has the pressure of an Arch Manning or the stakes of a Jackson Arnold or the pieces around him to be not only playoff teams, but playoff contenders in Tuscaloosa or Athens. But Tennessee's on the short list of the biggest overall question mark of, can any of these dudes play quarterback in this league?
Yeah.
Because even somebody with a whole lot of hot seat pressure and a whole lot of unknowns like an Arkansas, Tennessee would trade every quarterback in their room for Taylor Green right now.
Yeah. Yep. And here were Aguilar's stats last year at App State. If I can find their page. Well, here we go. So he completed 55.9% of his passes for 3,003 yards, 23 touchdowns, but 14 interceptions. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Do you know who's replacing Aguilar at App State?
One of the Mannings.
No. AJ Swan, formerly of Vanderbilt and LSU, who started 6 games for the Commodores as a true freshman 2 years ago.
Man, the musical chairs of the quarterback portal.
Yeah.
Like, who's his pants?
Skylar Howard, the Raging Cajuns?
No, the guy who's backing up your boy DJ Lagway, who played at Marietta and signed with
Harrison Bailey.
Yeah, Harrison Bailey.
Well, he had 2 touchdowns in the last like a minute 40 of the 2020 Florida pimp slap in Neyland Stadium, where Florida was laying like 17 or 18, and he throws a touchdown on like a 4th down play, and then they get the onside kick, and then he throws another touchdown on 4th down with like 2 seconds left. Just the most brutal backdoor cover I've ever witnessed. And now he's my backup. Stay healthy, DJ. Stay healthy.